Alex Stanton, founder CEO of Exbabylon, a new charter operating company, and working with the new charter team on technology solutions across the platform. We've been an N-able partner before it was N-able, and worked with the RMM solutions and the other security stack. When the Cove product became available, previously called Backup, Cove had a it has lineage, right? It has a pedigree behind it that's always been very, very strong. The basic technology components that it brings to the table, the reliability, it's been a part of our solution for many, many years.
What is it in terms of economics, or is it the safety of your clients? What parts of it really stand out for you?
Well, well, look, backup is something that every MSP does. You can't be an MSP that's calling yourself an MSP and not offer backup, right? So every MSP offers backup. It's just like everybody offers patching, everybody offers antivirus, and these are all just commoditized things that we all do. When you pick the product, you're looking for a product that does the things that a backup product should do, right?
Hmm.
And is Cove a fantastic? Does it have the technology nailed? Of course it does. Is it great at compression and dedupe? And is it great at managing version history? Yes, all those things. All the things you would expect a best-in-class backup solution to do. I think the thing that makes Cove unique, besides just its high-quality technology pieces that we put a lot of value in and the reliability of it, but it's around the integrated management platform. It's around the co-management capabilities of it. So it allows us to work in a very small ecosystem and a very large ecosystem. So we can have the same backup solution for a a small business, right?
Yep.
The bread and butter of the MSP industry,
Yep.
okay? But it lets us take the same team, the same competency, the same strategic partner and Enable, and just scale it right through our entire customer base,
Right.
all the way up into the co-managed space.
Right.
So that capability, and then combine that with Cove's velocity of deployment, and the fact that one thing that my business and the businesses that we collaborate with inside a new charter that use the Cove product, what we don't have to do is we don't have to actually do a lot of forward planning on capacity. We don't have to deal with licensing challenges. We're not trying to guess. And when a customer needs something, we can go from 0 to 100 miles an hour overnight. We're not waiting on an appliance. We're not waiting on licensing. We just go. And I heard a internal conversation from one of my partners in New Charter who said,
Sure.
you know, when we went to go deploy Cove, our engineers did not believe that it could be done over a weekend, and it was done over a weekend,
Awesome.
right? And so I think that's just the ability for us to step into a new environment, activate and turn on backup, and just have it work. And no strategic planning ahead of time. We don't have to go figure anything out. We can just deploy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, and there's some folks that have bought into, that kind of local first appliance and trying to get a copy of it offsite
Yeah.
and so on.
Yeah.
So, I guess what would you say to someone that is convinced that that's the right way to do business?
Well, I think you have to take a step back and understand that Cove is a natural fit to the culture of our organization because we're cloud forward. We're looking ahead, and we were early adopters of, for example, the Microsoft Cloud. We were early adopters of Microsoft 365. We saw that managing an Exchange server on premise, while profitable, wasn't going to be something that we were still going to be doing. So we proactively built out a business that said, this is not the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that idea of being cloud forward as a culture of an organization is the same reason why we're cloud forward in our backup solution. We think that the first time you turn on backup, it should be a cloud backup. Day zero, option zero, And then you bolt on the on-premise replication. You bolt on the secondary private data center replication. You bolt on other solutions like archiving and true like site recovery services, things like that, true high availability, right? But being able to run a backup where the first thing you do is a local backup and then you worry about replicating it seems like the wrong direction for our culture.
I don't know if this is the part of the business that you generally work with, but like focusing on sort of the economics of like how, as a service provider, how do you ultimately make money? I mean, that's
Well,
an important part of the.
it's pretty easy with Cove. I mean, I think you make money in a few different ways, and it's not just about making money; it's about value. So you have to, first and foremost, right? It's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it,
Sure.
and service to your customers have an expectation of backups just working. There's no room to miss on a backup, right? I actually had a client last week tell me he referring to a certain service delivery that he had an expectation of, and he said, it's like you're at the 15-yard line, and you're up for a field goal. He's like, you go get a beer and you come back and expect the extra point, right? You just do, and when you come back and say they missed it, like, that's just unacceptable, right? And I think backup is in that same category. There's just an expectation by your client that it's always going to work. And from a making money standpoint, it's about having a product that the same expectation as an MSP on the product. Because if it just works, and my customer expects it to just work, and I don't have to put energy and time and staff and stress around making it work, right? I don't have to babysit it. I don't have to deal with all the infrastructure components. Cove solves for that. It lets me scale the organization, scale the business, while doing it without putting stress on my engineering team. We're a engineer-led sales model, right? So when our team is talking to a client, they don't have to think about how they're going to deploy this. And they don't have to worry or stress about what the effort is going to be to maintain it once it's been deployed. So I think we make money with Cove because it works at the velocity that we work at, and it keeps up with us. Like, it just allows us to move, and it allows us to be very competitive with our clients because it's one of those ecosystems that we just don't have to put energy, time, and attention towards.
Right.
Yeah.
So low labor, time to value.
Yeah, and it's also a single pane of glass inside of, we're a full N-able shop, and being able to have that fully integrated solution just allows the ability for by the way, it's not just servers, right? I mean, Cove does a lot for us. And one of those is Microsoft 365 backup. And as more and more organizations are moving into serverless ecosystems, as we're seeing true cloud native digital transformation efforts happening, right? And as a Microsoft shop, we're a Microsoft 365 modern worker, fully embracing the idea of what the next generation of organization looks like. And it doesn't look like servers in a data center, right? It doesn't look like a server closet or server room.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
So Microsoft, all the pieces, we can do backup in Azure of VMs. We can back up SharePoint, OneDrive, single pane of glass, easy.
Love it. Awesome. Any final words before we close off then?
No, the last piece that you look for is relationship, and having a relationship and an organization that truly cares about the market, cares about what it's doing, and is passionate about its product, and understands its mission and stays focused on that. N-able gives us that with Cove, and that's why we're here.
Love it. Well, thanks for coming to this event this week. It's certainly been great to host you, and
we're glad to be here.
Lots of good times ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you.